Welcome to my channel Shadows of History. She owned nearly 9% of Hawaii. She could speak English, but she always refused to do so. She chose to live in a grass house instead of a Western-style villa. And she made sure her people could never be erased. Her name was Princess Ruth Keʻelikōlani, and she spent her entire life proving that it was possible to hold power in two worlds without abandoning the first. Ruth was born in 1826, descended from the highest lines of Hawaiian royal blood on both sides of her family. She was Aliʻi, Hawaiian nobility, in a way that commanded respect before she ever spoke a word. But she grew up as the world around her was changing rapidly. During her childhood, the influence of Christian missionaries and Western elites was already transforming the islands. Missionaries and colonizers sought to save Hawaiian souls by imposing American and European ways of living, dressing, and thinking. Indigenous religious practices were attacked, hula was frowned upon, and ancestral religion was discouraged. The kapu system, the ancient religious and social order that had governed Hawaiian life for centuries, had been officially abolished in 1819, before her birth. By the time Ruth reached adulthood, much of the royal family had converted to Christianity. Much of it, but not Ruth. Ruth continued to practice the traditional religion, honored native deities, and took part in rituals many now considered forbidden. She did so openly that everyone knew, and yet no one could stop her, because her authority was immense. Ruth was not only royalty. She was appointed royal governor of the island of Hawaii, one of the most powerful political positions in the kingdom. And she had one rule that drove Westerners mad. She did not speak English. She understood English perfectly. She read texts and followed political debates in the language. But she refused to speak it, both in public and in private. If someone wanted to speak with Princess Ruth, they had to speak Hawaiian. If they did not know it, they had to bring a translator. It did not matter whether they were missionaries, businessmen, diplomats, or foreign kings. Hawaiian, or nothing. It was the second half of the 19th century. American and European businessmen were steadily taking control of the island's wealth, and English was becoming the language of power. And there, in her traditional home, sat Princess Ruth, firm in the language of her ancestors. Because yes, Ruth had wealth. She had enough wealth to afford Western-style mansions. But she chose to live in a hale pailai, a traditional Hawaiian grass house. Not as a museum attraction, but as a real home. She slept there. She received visitors there. She conducted business there. When she was told to live like Westerners, she responded by living like her people. In 1870, Ruth became one of the largest landowners in Hawaii. She controlled more than 350,000 acres, about 9% of the entire archipelago. Immense power. She could have used it to assimilate, to grow even richer, and to strengthen her position within the Western system. Instead, she chose her identity. Ruth was not naive. She saw commercial interests tightening their grip. She saw the monarchy weakening under external pressure. She understood that within a generation, the kingdom could cease to exist. So she made a decision that would echo for the next 150 years. When Ruth died in 1883, she left most of her land, wealth, and influence to her cousin, Princess Bernice Pauahi Bishop. Bernice used that inheritance to create a trust. From that trust came the Kamehameha Schools, institutions designed to provide education, opportunity, and cultural connection for native Hawaiian children and youth. Think about what Ruth did. She spoke Hawaiian when she was told to speak English. She lived in a grass house when she was told to adopt Western ways. She honored the ancient religion when she was told to convert. She governed through traditional authority when she was asked to modernize. This was not nostalgia. It was resistance. Every time a Western businessman had to bring a translator to speak with her, that was resistance. Every time she stepped into her hale pailai instead of a Western villa, that was resistance. Every time she refused to explain herself in English, that was resistance. And then she left her land to Hawaiian children, because she understood this. Land is identity, education is survival, and to endure, you must teach your children who they are. Ruth Keʻelikōlani died in 1883, 10 years before the overthrow of the Hawaiian monarchy in 1893. She did not live to see the end of her kingdom. But she lived long enough to create something that would outlast it. Today, more than 140 years later, the Kamehameha Schools thrive. Thousands of Hawaiian students graduate from them. Hawaiian language and cultural programs flourish. Every student who walks through the gates of those schools, every person who speaks Hawaiian in public, every young person who embraces their cultural heritage. That is Ruth's legacy. She refused to disappear. And she made sure her people never could.